My mill wants me to give my 3-year-old daughter to my sister-in-law and her husband, or else she would take me to court for being an irresponsible parent, which I am not. I, 35M, am a single dad to my 3-year-old daughter, Lily. My wife, Sarah, passed away 2 years ago from cancer. It was a devastating loss for both me and Lily, but we've been doing our best to move forward and create a happy life together. Recently, my mother-in-law, Karen, 58F, approached me with a shocking request. She wanted me to give custody of Lily to Sarah's younger sister, Emily, 30F, and her husband, John, 32M. Karen's reasoning was that Lily needed a proper family with a mother figure, and that Emily and John were better suited to raise her. I was completely blindsided by this request. Lily is my daughter, and I've been doing everything in my power to give her a loving and stable home since Sarah's passing. I've rearranged my work schedule to be more present, hired a part-time nanny to help when I'm at work, and made sure Lily has plenty of playdates and activities to keep her engaged and happy. When I declined Karen's request, explaining that I had no intention of giving up custody of my own child, she became furious. She accused me of being selfish and not thinking about what was best for Lily. I tried to remain calm and reiterate that I was perfectly capable of raising my daughter, but Karen wouldn't listen. The situation escalated when Karen threatened to take me to court. She claimed she had evidence that I was an unfit parent and that she would use it to gain custody of Lily for Emily and John. I was shocked and hurt by her threats, especially since I've always tried to maintain a good relationship with Sarah's family for Lily's sake. I asked Karen what kind of evidence she supposedly had, but she refused to elaborate. She just kept insisting that Lily would be better off with Emily and John, and that I was depriving her of a chance at a normal family life. I stood my ground and told Karen that I would fight any attempts to take Lily away from me. I reminded her that I am Lily's legal guardian and that there was no basis for her claims. I also pointed out that uprooting Lily from her home and separating her from her father would be incredibly traumatic for her. Karen stormed out of my house, threatening that I would be hearing from her lawyer soon. I was left feeling angry, hurt, and worried about what might happen next. Since then, I've been documenting all of my interactions with Karen and keeping detailed records of Lily's care. I've also reached out to a family lawyer to discuss my options and prepare for any potential legal battle. I'm confident that I'm doing the right thing by keeping Lily with me, but Karen's accusations and threats have left me feeling shaken. I can't help but wonder if I'm being selfish by not considering her proposal more seriously. Emily has been struggling with fertility issues due to hormonal complications. She and John have been trying to have a child for several years without success. I sympathize with their situation, but I don't believe this justifies taking Lily away from me. Over the next few days, I tried to maintain our normal routine for Lily's sake. I took her to the park, read her bedtime stories, and did my best to shield her from the tension with her grandmother. However, I couldn't help but feel a constant sense of anxiety, wondering when the other shoe would drop. A week after Karen's initial visit, I received a formal letter from a lawyer representing her. The letter outlined a series of allegations against me, claiming neglect and emotional abuse. I was accused of working too much and leaving Lily with strangers, referring to her nanny, who has been with us for over a year and whom Lily adores. The letter also suggested that I was emotionally unstable due to my grief over Sarah's death and unable to provide a nurturing environment for Lily. Reading these accusations felt like a punch to the gut. I've dedicated every part of my life to ensuring Lily's happiness and well-being since Sarah passed away. To have my efforts twisted and used against me was infuriating and heartbreaking. I immediately contacted my lawyer and forwarded the letter to her. She assured me that the claims were baseless and that we had a strong case to maintain custody. She advised me to gather character references from Lily's pediatrician, her preschool teachers, and other family members who could attest to my parenting abilities. As I began reaching out to people for these references, I was overwhelmed by the support I received. Lily's teachers praised her development and social skills, noting how well-adjusted she seemed despite the loss of her mother. Our pediatrician wrote a glowing letter about Lily's health and my attentiveness as a parent. Even some of Sarah's cousins and aunts reached out to offer their support, saying they disagreed with Karen's actions. Despite this flood of support, I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. Karen had been a part of our lives since Lily was born. She had helped us during Sarah's illness and in the aftermath of her death. I had always thought we had a good relationship, even if it was sometimes strained by our shared grief. Now, it felt like she was trying to tear apart what remained of our family. I tried to understand Karen's perspective. Maybe she genuinely believed Lily would be better off with Emily and John. Perhaps she was struggling with her own grief and wanted to keep a piece of Sarah close by having Lily raised by her other daughter. But no matter how I looked at it, I couldn't justify her actions or the hurtful accusations she was making against me. Update. Yesterday, Emily and John showed up at my doorstep unannounced. I was surprised to see them, especially after Emily's earlier call where she had apologized for her mother's behavior. Lily was napping, so I invited them in for a quiet talk. Emily started the conversation by saying that they believed it might be best for Lily to live with them. John nodded along, looking uncomfortable but supportive of his wife. I listened patiently, trying to remain calm. When Emily finished, I politely but firmly restated my position. I told them that while I appreciated their concern, Lily was my daughter, and I had no intention of giving up custody. I emphasized that Lily was happy, well-adjusted, and that uprooting her would be traumatic. Emily's behavior suddenly changed. Her face hardened, and she accused me of being selfish. She said I was ruining Lily's life by depriving her of a mother's care. I was shocked. Then, Emily made an accusation that surprised me. She claimed that I was planning to marry another woman and make her Lily's stepmother. This was completely false. I hadn't even considered dating since Sarah's passing, let alone remarriage. When I denied this, Emily became even more agitated. In a moment that felt surreal, Emily then accused me of never having truly loved Sarah and not loving Lily either. She said that if I really cared about Lily's well-being, I would let her be raised by a real family. I was stunned into silence by the brutality of her words. As I struggled to respond, John tried to calm Emily down, but she brushed him off. She stood up abruptly and declared that they would be back with their lawyer. Emily stated that they would fight for custody and that I should prepare myself to lose Lily. They left quickly after that, leaving me reeling from the encounter. I sat in silence for a long time, trying to process what had just happened. After collecting myself, I called my lawyer to update her on this new development. She advised me to document the visit and Emily's threats, assuring me again that they had no legal grounds to take Lily away from me. That night, as I tucked Lily into bed, I held her a little tighter than usual. I promised her, and myself, that I would do everything in my power to protect our little family. The road ahead might be difficult, but I was prepared to face whatever challenges came our way. Now, I'm left wondering how things escalated to this point. How did a family that once supported each other become so fractured? And most importantly, how can I shield Lily from this brewing storm while still maintaining her relationships with her extended family? Update. 2 days after Emily and John's visit, I received a call from Sarah's grandmother, Elizabeth. She's always been a voice of reason in the family, and I was relieved to hear from her. However, what she told me left me shocked and furious. Elizabeth informed me that she had overheard a conversation between Karen and Emily. It turned out that their sudden interest in gaining custody of Lily wasn't just about family or providing a mother figure. There was a significant financial motivation behind it. Sarah had inherited a substantial sum of money from her late grandfather. Sarah and I had decided to put all of that money into a trust fund for Lily's future. The money was legally Lily's, to be accessed when she turned 25. Elizabeth explained that Karen and Emily believed that if they gained custody of Lily, they would also gain control over this inheritance. They saw it as a way to solve Emily's financial struggles and fund expensive fertility treatments. I was furious. The idea that they would use Lily as a pawn in their scheme to get their hands on money that rightfully belonged to her was beyond comprehension. It explained their sudden change in behavior and the lengths they were willing to go to in order to get custody. Immediately after ending the call with Elizabeth, I contacted my lawyer. I explained the situation and asked for advice on how to protect Lily and her inheritance. My lawyer advised me to take the following steps. 1. Document Elizabeth's statement. She suggested I ask Elizabeth to provide a written statement about what she had overheard. 2. Review the trust documents. We needed to ensure that the trust was ironclad and couldn't be accessed or altered if custody changed. 3. Inform the trustee. My lawyer recommended notifying the trustee of the potential custody dispute to prevent any unauthorized changes. 4. Consider a restraining order. Given the escalating situation, she suggested we might need to file for a restraining order against Karen and Emily to protect Lily. 5. Prepare for court. While we hoped it wouldn't come to this, my lawyer started preparing arguments to present in court if necessary, focusing on Lily's best interests and the apparent financial motivations behind the custody attempt. I spent the next few days gathering all the necessary documentation and following my lawyer's advice. The betrayal I felt was immense. To think that Sarah's own mother and sister would try to use Lily for financial gain was heartbreaking. Despite my anger, I tried to remain calm for Lily's sake. She had picked up on the tension and had been more clingy than usual. I made sure to spend extra time with her, reassuring her of my love and commitment. As I tucked Lily into bed that night, I found myself reflecting on Sarah. I wished she was here to help navigate this mess, but I knew she would be proud of how I was protecting our daughter. I made a silent promise to her and to Lily that I would fight with everything I had to keep our little girl safe and secure. Now, as I prepare for what might be a long and ugly legal battle, I can't help but wonder, how did money manage to tear this family apart so completely? And how can I protect Lily not just now, but in the future, from those who might try to take advantage of her? Update. A week after my conversation with Elizabeth and my lawyer, I received a message from Karen. She wanted to meet and discuss things civilly without involving the courts. I agreed, thinking it might be an opportunity to put an end to this nightmare. We met at a neutral location, a quiet cafe in town. Karen and Emily were already there when I arrived. They both looked tense, but tried to put on friendly faces. Karen started by saying they had reconsidered their approach and wanted to find a solution that worked for everyone. Emily chimed in, suggesting we could arrange more frequent visits and perhaps even some overnight stays for Lily at their house. I listened quietly, letting them lay out their proposal. When they finished, I took a deep breath and decided it was time to lay all the cards on the table. "I know about the inheritance," I said calmly. The effect was immediate. Karen's face paled, and Emily's eyes widened in shock. They exchanged panicked glances, clearly not expecting this. I continued, "I know that this isn't about Lily's well-being or her need for a mother figure. This is about Sarah's inheritance, which, by the way, is already in a trust for Lily's future." Karen tried to interrupt, but I held up my hand. "Let me finish. Sarah and I set up that trust together. It's for Lily's education and future. It's not accessible to anyone, including me, until she's 25. Emily started to tear up, whether from guilt or frustration I couldn't tell. Karen looked like she was about to argue, but I pressed on. "I've been patient. I've tried to understand. But using my daughter as a pawn to get money is unforgivable. So let me be clear. This stops now. No more threats, no more accusations, no more attempts to take Lily away from me." I looked them both in the eye. "If you persist with this, I won't hesitate to take legal action. I'll file for harassment, emotional distress, and any other charge my lawyer advises. I have documentation of everything, including your financial motives." Karen's face hardened. "You can't prove anything," she said boldly. "Are you willing to risk it?" I asked. "Because I am. I'll do whatever it takes to protect Lily." The silence that followed was heavy. Emily was the first to break it. We just wanted what's best for Lily," she said weakly. "No," I replied firmly. "You wanted what was best for yourselves. Lily is happy, healthy, and loved. That's what's best for her." I stood up, ready to leave. "This is your final warning. Stop now, or we'll settle this in court. And believe me, you won't like the outcome." As I walked away, I heard Karen call out, "You can't keep us from seeing her." I turned back one last time. "I never wanted that. You're still Lily's family, but it's up to you now to prove you deserve to be in her life." With that, I left the cafe. As I drove home, I felt a mix of emotions, relief at having confronted them, sadness at how things had turned out, but mostly a renewed determination to protect Lily and give her the life Sarah and I had dreamed of for her. When I got home, I hugged Lily tightly, grateful for her innocence in all of this. I hoped that one day, when she's older, she'll understand that everything I did was out of love for her. Now, I'm left wondering, was I too harsh? Should I have given them another chance? Or was this the only way to protect Lily and honor Sarah's memory? Final update. It's been 6 months since my conflict with Karen and Emily. The aftermath wasn't easy, but things have gradually settled into a new normal. After our meeting, Karen and Emily backed off. They formally apologized, acknowledging their wrongdoing and expressing remorse for their actions. While I appreciated this step, I remained cautious. We've slowly rebuilt some form of relationship, primarily for Lily's sake. They now have supervised visits once a month. It's not perfect, but it's a start. Lily is thriving. She's happy, energetic, and growing more like Sarah every day. We talk about her mom often, keeping her memory alive. I've started a support group for single parents who've lost their partners. It's been healing to connect with others who understand this journey. As for me, I'm taking it one day at a time. The experience has made me more protective of Lily, but also more appreciative of the life we have together. I'm grateful for the support I received and the strength I found to stand up for what's right. Lily's future is secure, and that's what matters most.